In a faraway ancient kingdom, nestled between towering mountains and a vast, tranquil sea, there lived a humble priest named Karl. He had been raised in a small village on the outskirts of the kingdom, learning the ancient rituals passed down through generations. Karl had a genuine curiosity about the world, a deep connection with the natural elements, and a heart full of compassion for his people. One fateful day, during an enigmatic ceremony held in a sacred temple on a moonlit night, Karl accidentally tapped into the fabric of the four-dimensional space. This space refers to the three-dimensional world we inhabit, combined with the unfathomable concept of time as the fourth dimension, which we mortals usually cannot perceive nor understand. As the ceremony unfolded, Karl felt an indescribable surge of energy coursing through him, his body trembling with the sheer power of his newfound abilities. The temple walls seemed to dissolve around him, revealing a universe that transcended the boundaries of time and space. He could see events from the past, present, and future, and sense everything in the four-dimensional realm. News of Karl's incredible discovery spread quickly throughout the kingdom. He was soon regarded as a divine being, with people flocking from far and wide to witness his miracles and seek his guidance. They believed he was the incarnation of a long-forgotten god, and his growing influence eventually led him to become the ruler of the kingdom. Karl, once a simple priest, now found himself in a position of great power, with the ability to traverse the vast expanse of time and space at his command. He used his newfound abilities to ensure prosperity for his people, foreseeing natural disasters and averting them, healing the sick, and resolving conflicts before they could escalate. With each successful use of his power, Karl's influence grew, and the kingdom expanded its territory under his wise rule. As Karl's mastery over the four-dimensional space grew, so did his supernatural powers. He could effortlessly cross through time and space, seeing future and past events with startling clarity. He could sense the feelings, thoughts, and intentions of everyone around him, giving him an unparalleled understanding of the human heart. The people of the kingdom revered him as the embodiment of a god, sent to deliver them from darkness and guide them to prosperity. Karl's ambitions extended beyond the borders of his kingdom, and with his newfound powers, he set out to expand his territory. He employed his ability to see into the future, identifying strategic advantages and anticipating the moves of other rulers before they even knew their intentions. He could transport himself and his armies vast distances in an instant, appearing on the battlefield as if from nowhere and striking fear into the hearts of his enemies. The other rulers, witnessing Karl's seemingly divine powers, were awestruck and surrendered to him without resistance. They became his loyal followers, offering their armies, resources, and unwavering devotion. With every new territory conquered, Karl's power grew, and more people believed in his divine status. The kingdom flourished under Karl's rule, and he established a new form of governance that combined his supernatural powers with the wisdom of the mortal rulers who had submitted to him. His empire expanded across vast stretches of land, from the highest mountain peaks to the deepest ocean trenches, incorporating diverse cultures and countless peoples. The once humble priest had become the most powerful figure in the known world, revered and feared in equal measure. His influence grew beyond the kingdom, and many other rulers surrendered to him, becoming his loyal followers. Karl began to control the entire country, establishing a new form of governance. His power became stronger, and more people believed he was an almighty god. As time went on, the allure of Kol's immense power began to corrupt his once pure heart. The once benevolent ruler, who had ushered in an era of peace and prosperity, started to abuse his supernatural abilities. He began using the forces of the four-dimensional space to manipulate and control the minds and actions of his subjects, bending them to his will and whims. This insidious change in Kol's behavior did not go unnoticed. Whispers of discontent spread through the vast empire, and the once loyal subjects began to question their ruler's divine status. They saw the way he used his extraordinary powers to subjugate and oppress them, stifling their freedom and autonomy. Fear and anger simmered beneath the surface, and it was only a matter of time before it boiled over. A rebellion began to take shape as brave souls from across the empire banded together to resist Kol's tyranny. They sought ways to undermine his power, researching ancient texts and consulting wise sages in search of a means to break free from his control. Yet, despite their efforts, Kol's mastery over time and space seemed insurmountable. His power was too strong, and no one could find a way to stop him. However, the people's determination to reclaim their freedom only grew stronger. Secret meetings were held in the shadows, and plans were formulated to confront the once beloved ruler who had lost his way. The rebellion gained momentum, attracting followers from every corner of the empire, united in their desire to end Kol's oppressive regime and restore the balance of power. As the rebellion grew bolder, open skirmishes and battles broke out across the land. Kol, sensing the increasing threat to his rule, unleashed the full force of his four-dimensional powers against the rebels. He manipulated time and space to his advantage, predicting their moves and striking them down with overwhelming force. But with each battle, the people's opposition grew more resolute, and their defiance of Kol's tyranny became a beacon of hope for those who still yearned for freedom. In a climactic battle that would decide the fate of the empire, Kol and his forces faced the rebels on a vast, windswept plain. The sky was filled with dark clouds, and the air crackled with tension as the two sides prepared to clash. Kol, resplendent in his armor and confident in his four-dimensional powers, stood at the forefront of his army, ready to suppress the people's resistance once and for all. The battle was fierce, with the deafening sounds of clashing steel, cries of pain, and roars of determination filling the air. Kol used his power over time and space to devastating effect, teleporting through the battlefield to strike down key rebel leaders and shifting the flow of time to give his forces the upper hand. For a moment, it seemed as though the rebellion would be crushed under the weight of Kol's supernatural might. But as the battle raged on, something unexpected happened. Kol's governance, which had become increasingly unstable due to his abuse of power and the growing opposition, began to falter. The loyalty of his once devoted followers waned, and some of the rulers who had submitted to him turned against him, bolstering the ranks of the rebellion. The people's opposition, fueled by their desperation and unwavering desire for freedom, became more intense with every passing moment. As the tide of battle turned, the rebels fought with renewed vigor, their collective strength slowly overpowering Kol's once invincible four-dimensional powers. The once mighty ruler began to falter, his exhaustion and fear palpable as the reality of his impending defeat began to sink in. As the sun set and the smoke of battle cleared, it became evident that the people's resistance had triumphed. Kol's forces lay scattered and broken, and the once all-powerful ruler found himself cornered and isolated on the battlefield. The people's perseverance and unity had prevailed, and the empire's future now hung in the balance. In a desperate bid to reclaim his power and rebuild his crumbling regime, Karl retreated to an ancient, forgotten temple hidden deep within a dense forest. There, he prepared to cast a massive spell, one that would amplify his four-dimensional powers and subdue the rebellion once and for all. He believed that by restoring his control over time and space, he could regain the loyalty of his subjects and return to his once glorious rule. As Karl began to cast the spell, the skies darkened and the earth trembled beneath his feet. Arcane symbols and whispers of ancient languages filled the air, as the fabric of reality itself seemed to warp around him. His eyes burned with determination and desperation as he poured every ounce of his power into the incantation. However, Karl's desperation had clouded his judgment, and the spell proved too powerful even for him. The energies he attempted to harness spiraled out of control, causing massive destruction and chaos throughout the land. Mountains crumbled, rivers changed course, and great chasms tore through the earth, swallowing entire towns and villages. The very essence of time and space seemed to fracture as the world was plunged into turmoil. Realizing the catastrophic consequences of his actions, the people of the empire banded together to defeat Karl once and for all. Led by the most courageous and skilled warriors of the rebellion, they hunted him down, tracking him to the remote corner where he had sought refuge in the ancient temple. Cornered and defeated, Karl met his end at the hands of the very people he had once sworn to protect. His death marked the end of his tyrannical rule, and the empire breathed a collective sigh of relief as the long nightmare finally came to a close. In the aftermath of Karl's fall, the people faced the daunting task of rebuilding their shattered world. They worked tirelessly to repair the damage caused by the out-of-control spell, forging new alliances and restoring the bonds of trust and friendship that had been lost during the dark days of Karl's rule. The country regained its freedom, but at a great cost. People rebuilt their country in their way, but they remembered Karl's power and his rise to rule. It became a piece of history that stayed in their memory forever. Thank you for watching. You could download the vocabulary PDF below. To stay up to date on our future videos, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and let us know what you think in the comments below.